Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I am at my lovely home with a cup of coffee. We are gathered here today in front of God and all these messy ass people to watch the Ready to Love Season 10 reunion. How y'all doing? Okay, I hope you guys are doing good today. I am doing well. Now, I don't get how I used to get when I drink coffee. I am not the person that, the mess that y'all enjoy when I drink coffee. I don't really got that no more. My body done got used to the coffee, but sit back, relax. We about to have a good time. Okay. So, should we call it Ready to Love or should we call it Rosie's Revenge? Because I'm not really sure. So we started the episode out. I didn't get a good look at everybody's outfit so that I could talk about the clothing. So we won't even discuss it. I won't even bring it up right now. Let's just get right into the reunion. And you know what? I'm really glad they got right into the reunion. Normally, they show all these flashbacks and get to going around doing a round table. How you doing? How this person doing? How that person doing? We kind of got right to it, and I'm glad. So the first person we went to was Angie. We showed how Angie was a good time in the house. Angie was a great time in the house. I usually enjoyed her when she was on the screen. She doesn't take herself too seriously. But of course, what we really narrow it down to and get to talking about is the busting of the windows. And Angie is just like Cam, the only one that couldn't get over it. And Cam on stage was the only person who was still just like, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. She wasn't owning it. She wasn't talking about what she could do to change her behavior. I ain't really feeling none of that. Oh boy, I'm gonna call him Wheezy because I don't remember his name, y'all. What's that one with all that facial hair? He was just like, he don't really see a whole lot of negatives with Angie. He liked Angie. He thought Angie was fun. And when Angie said one of the things she might need to work on, which she didn't even want to say that, was that she needed to work on being softer. He said he have a problem with how he like his women a little bit harder because let's be real, women these days is the breadwinner. Me and that talk like that. Not because it's not true, but when they get to talking like that, I'll be like, is it being said because it's the truth or is it being said because you don't want to do nothing? We got to examine it and see. Hussein says he also liked Angie and that she wasn't always giving hard to him. As a matter of fact, every date they went on, everything they did, it was very much, thank you so much. I really appreciated it. I had such a good time. Like, it was not giving hardness for Hussein at all. The only person who had a problem, she said, was Cam. And Cam was just like, I don't care. All right. I didn't like the comment. And she didn't talk about how she was going to try to change. So I wasn't fooling with it. So nephew Tyler Perry asked Angie, so who still got a shot? Who you still been talking to? And she was just like, I've been talking to all of them platonically, but who done really stepped it up? She say she can't say, but then we find out is Khalil. Khalil ain't even on stage. Khalil like, huh? What? What she say? She said what? She said slam dunk. Well, I mean, what that mean? What that mean? What she say? She said we went on a date. Khalil. Why the hell are you at? Can you not hear? If you can you can hear. Why are you acting like you don't know what's going on? It was pissing me off. I was like, what's wrong with him? I got a feeling, y'all, I'm watching the play-by-play. I'm watching it live. So I got a feeling we're going to find out maybe that ain't the only person he been shooting at. And that's why he was in that atmosphere. I was just like, what is wrong with him? Huh? What? Huh? All of a sudden, you done went deaf. So anyway, that's it with Angie. And did y'all hear Cam say, old boy was just like, dang, man, we lost. And Cam said, oh, he can have her. Uh-huh. Boy, shut up. Shut up. Didn't nobody ask you. So then we move on to dun dun dun. Rosie's Revenge. Hussein and Rose are standing backstage at a table, and Rose is clearly upset. Hussein is just like, what's wrong with you? And so then she kind of walk off like, she tells him we were supposed to be walking out on that stage hand in hand together. It was supposed to be me and you. And Hussein just looking, child. So she walk off by herself, and Tati ends up, I keep calling her Tati. Tay ends up coming over there to talk to her. And I guess she done turned Rose up because she went out on that stage and she cut up real good or real bad, depending on how you feel about Rose. So she's over there and she's crying to Tay, telling Tay, like, I'm trying to get myself together, but it's hard when you see people that you thought you was going to be with. Hussein is who she mainly talking about. And things just don't pan out the way that you thought. And they just walking around like everything okay. So when they get out to the stage and they start discussing what happened, which was the fact that Rose did not tell the gentleman that her child's father was incarcerated and had been incarcerated for some time. Well, really Rose's biggest beef is with Hussein. She really don't seem to have a whole lot of smoke for Cam. Or any of her other connections. Did she just have those two? She really doesn't seem to have smoke for anybody else. At this point, Angie and Cam are both still on the stage. And so Tommy is talking to Rose and asking her, how are you feeling right now? What's going on with you? And Rose is upset. She was like, I am upset. It's very hard being up here with people that you had an attraction to, that you thought you might have been with. This is very difficult for me to do. Rose feels like there was absolutely no loyalty towards her when it came to her exposing the fact that she had her child's father was in jail. She honestly didn't think that should take away from her character or anything else that she had done or anything that they had as a connection to one another in the process. And Hussein says it was an issue for him. It was a problem for him because I did not know prior to that date. You waited until the date to say that your child's father was incarcerated. And she was like, it shouldn't even matter. None of it should matter. I don't talk to my child's father anymore. I don't have any type of communication with him. Both Cam and Hussein are trying to let her know him being in jail and you not talking to him is not the issue. The issue was we didn't know anything about it. So Hussein brings up the fact that Kiara, she let people know that her child's father was incarcerated. You could have done something like that. Like that would have been the time for you to expose it. Rose said, I don't care what y'all know about Kiara. Okay, that was out and that was on the table. My situation was never even brought up for me to tell y'all that. That was the first time it was coming up when we were on that date. And Hussein says, you knew I had a problem with it because you looked at me when you said it like, she was like, I did not. So now they getting into it about whether or not Rose knew he had a problem with it. Rose feels like Hussein should have fought for her the way that Cam fought for Sahara. If we was that deep, you should have done that. I feel like you played me through this entire process. Well, nephew Tyler Perry steps in at this time and says, I can't really say he played you because up until that point, y'all really were good. So I can't say he played you throughout the process. Well, Rose felt played. Whew. Oh, I'm not even done. Then Rose gonna tell Hussein the nerve of you to hold against me the fact that my child's father is incarcerated and eliminate me for it when you did time yourself. So here come Angie like, Hussein, you was booked. And he was just like, I don't know what she talking. I don't know what she talking about. He said he had a situation in college. He was not booked for it. He did not go to jail. He didn't serve any time. But that's the situation she's talking about. And that's another problem. As men, when we reveal something about ourselves, when we want to be vulnerable, it get thrown back up in our face. So it never would have worked anyway. Rose, none of this would have worked with Hussein at all because one, Hussein is not the type of man that's going to fight for you. Hussein didn't even return text messages. He didn't even reach out to y'all with a phone call. Y'all would go days without talking to this man and y'all would complain about it. Hussein is not the type of man that's going to fight for you. He just don't even give that at all. That's number one. And number two, somebody in the comments did say it doesn't seem like Rose had been given the opportunity to explain the situation about her child's father prior to this date. Somebody in my comments did say that. And I'm going to have to give you your props, whoever you are. I probably won't go back and look, but whoever you are, you were absolutely right. It does not sound like Rose was given, it didn't sound like her baby daddy came up and she didn't volunteer the information. They're always going to be arguing about whether or not she should have brought it up first. And Rose is always going to say, well, you didn't ask. So I don't think they're ever going to come to a conclusion on this situation. But what What did y'all think? Like, do y'all feel like Rose has the right to be as upset as she is? I don't know. I don't know, because these guys can eliminate you for any reason. I still feel like I felt before. I think Rose is doing too much with these men that she should not have been doing. And she herself should have been playing the game. I'm not saying having sex or doing anything like that. I'm just saying all that extra big mama and she was doing, bigging them up and seeing the king in them and all that. Relax. Okay, let them show you who they are first. And then you open up accordingly. But she was just wide open all the time. I want to love this man. I want to do for this man. It was, to me, it was too much. Yeah, it was too much. And I think that's why she feels so irritated. Like, I follow the mold. I'm what y'all want. I have these things going on. She even told the other women at the thing, like, oh, y'all don't get to know a man like I do. I'm different. I'm special. But ain't nobody bigger than the program, baby. Now, I do want to talk about Hussein in this whole locked up situation, because why did he start off saying, like, no, I don't know what she's talking about? And then all of a sudden you did know what she was talking about. Did you forget? Just like she forgot her baby daddy was in jail. Also, Rose, if there was a conversation happening about prison time, jail time, incarceration, then you did have a moment to bring it up. Did you not? Things we could have skipped. Next, we have Khalil, what's his name, Naimm and True, and how she wasn't telling the truth about her Google number that she gave him. And she tells him, I didn't give you a Google number. Y'all, why they kept calling it a Google Doc number? I was like, did y'all hit save copy? File, save a copy? It was a Google number, not a Google Doc number. But she says it was her real phone number. She don't know what he's talking about. Then her and Khalil have a little debate about her age. Khalil said he wasn't really fooling with her like that because she was being dishonest. She was taking forever to tell me how old she was. And she was like, that was because he was basing his women off of the age that they were and if they were at childbearing age. And he was like, yes, I was, because I want to have kids and I want to date a little while before I have kids. So yes, I was trying to figure out if you were going to be able to have a child. What's wrong with that? Nothing is really wrong with that. But True was just a time filler. I don't care if she lied about her age. We all could look at it and tell she was lying about her age. I don't care if she lied about the Google number, not Google Doc number. I don't care about none of that. True was a time filler. She wasn't on the show long. She didn't make no real connection. We can move on. Another time filler. We play a rousing game of who said that. Now, it was cute because you do kind of forget what you said sometimes. It was funny to find out Kiera had called Cam and he gives her Ninja Turtle vibes. And now I'm looking at him and I was like, he do give off a little turtle. We find out that Jay said he loved them stretch marks and them love handles. He just can't get enough of it. You can't skip over them. Fritz said he was scared of Sahara. Everybody knew it was him. And old girl, I be wanting to call her Betty Boop, but with the short hair, the short blonde hair, she actually, everybody thought it was Angie, but she actually was the one who said, like, I done busted some windows out some cars. I done stabbed somebody with a fork. And Angie was like, now hold on now. Now that wasn't me. I ain't stabbed nobody. I'm crazy, but I ain't fork crazy. And we find out it was her. So everybody had a good laugh about that. It was a good little time filler. And then we move on to the next segment. Then we go over to Fitz. How you say his name, y'all? We get over to him, and it's really just a bunch of games over there, too. He's laughing because Sahara was like, look, as far as I knew, he was playing games. He was copying and pasting the messages. I'm laughing because he was laughing. He was just like, I did not copy and paste. And she was like, I don't know. He sent it on the Tuesday. He said good morning on the Tuesday, but it probably was the same message from Monday. Then they talk about him trying to get Sahara up out of there. He was like, everybody had already agreed that they wanted Sahara gone anyway. And old boy was like, yeah, not Cam, but Wheezy, hairy face. I need to quit calling him Wheezy, y'all, but he talked like he a little asthmatic. But he was just like, but you did keep bringing up her name. So once Cam gets to talking about the situation with Sahara and how he felt the need to step in and defend her, Shawnee pop out and say, I just think you're very fake. I think you're very hypocritical. And now they want to know what she's talking about. Because you called me asking me if you should even choose Sahara. You called me asking me who you should choose. And you did not mention that Sahara was your top pick. So now it's like, boom. Everybody looking around. They looking at Cam. Everybody backstage making noise. And so Cam is like, I don't know what you're referring to. But that was a different time. That was a time when he get cut off. She continues to say, and you tried to come with Spain. You tried to come with me out the country and ask me if you could be my boy toy. And Kim is like, oh, no, that was not like that. That was a joke. And she said, well, where was the ha-ha? So you trying to talk about him and his lifestyle and what he's trying to do and how he was about Sahara when you wanted to be a part of that same lifestyle. You too wanted to be a polygamist. Now, I don't believe Cam talked about Fritz wanting to be a polygamist. I think he wanted him up out of there because of the stuff he said about Sahara. But, I guess she calling him a hypocrite either way, right? And what we end up finding out is the reason why Shawnee was going so hard is because now that's her man. And she gonna stick beside him. I said, boy, it's amazing. Only on Ready to Love do you get your women to handle your light work. These women act like y'all in a gang, like, sit back, baby, I got this for you. I'm gonna handle your work for you. Did y'all notice he was sitting there? He didn't have to say nothing to Cam. She was handling all his work. And it's not that she wasn't wrong. It's not that she was wrong, because Cam is, we gonna find out that Cam is somewhat of a hypocrite. However, he got a mouth. He can fight his own battles. He really didn't need you to do it for him. But I am glad she gave that tea about you was calling me, asking me who you should choose, and you didn't even mention Sahara. And his reasoning for that, once they get backstage, he telling Sahara he didn't mention her because he already knew he was kind of locked in on her. So he didn't need to mention that she was his number one choice. And I hope you're not going for that, Sahara. That is bullshit. Excuse my French. That explanation didn't make no sense to me. Then Sahara was just like, I would love to see those text messages if that is indeed true. Right? Oh, sorry. I didn't finish up with Shawnee and Fritz. Yes, they've been talking. They are together. He says that is his woman, and she says it's nice having a man that could pray next to me, that will pray for me. Shawnee always got on my nerves. She was always her and Rose was giving the same energy. Pick me, choose me, love me. Moving on. Now, back to what I was saying about Sahara and Cam and this foolishness he was trying to tell her. So as Sahara is asking, well, let me see these messages that you sent to Shawnee about, going to Spain and how you was ha-ha joking, right? Here come Angie. Hey, keep my name out your mouth. Keep my name out your mouth. And the next time you decide to talk about me, you make sure you got your facts straight. She upset. She mad. Cam is like, wait a minute. Hold on. Sahara said, hold on a minute. Come on, let me hear what you got to say. Us. Let us hear. I said, who is us? Sahara? Because you sound like you riding for Cam a little bit. Now, when you got out on stage, you were saying something different, but I don't know. I felt like you came to the reunion willing to give him a chance until you heard the things that came next. So Angie does end up coming back. I'm glad Sahara stepped up out of it because it don't got nothing to do with you. And they end up having a conversation where Angie said that she was given some information from somebody, Rose, that you had been talking about my situation with one of my exes and how I was aggressive towards him, and that's why you didn't pick me, right? And so he's just like, I never said a bad thing about you. Who told you that? Well, I know you can't tell me who told you, but you make sure you get your information straight. I really didn't say nothing like that about you. And that was enough for Angie. It would have been enough for me because Cam been showing too many signs of getting caught up in his foolishness. But at the time, maybe they didn't notice, right? So then we get back on stage and baby, we get back out on stage and we discuss where Cam and Sahara are today. They are nowhere because afterwards they were going to give it a shot. But Cam wasn't really talking about anything. It was just a bunch of good morning texts, no conversation, no I want to see you. So Sahara felt like she still was choosing herself. Basically, Cam not really talking about nothing. And Cam was like, how many times did I ask you if I could take you out? How many times did I tell you I wanted to do this with you? I wanted to do that. And she was like, oh, I wouldn't have got them messages because you blocked, baby. I didn't get none of your messages. And he was like, exactly. So how was I supposed to do the things if I'm blocked? Nephew Tyler Perry asked if he can get unblocked. And Sahara was like, he can get unblocked. I will at least take him off the block list. But Tommy wants to know if Cam does show and prove that he wants to have dealings with you for real, are you willing to go there with him? And she was just like, I don't know. Right now, I'll take him off the block list. And as far as if we can go anywhere with it, we'll just have to see after I take him off the block list. We'll have to see when we get to that point. Rose says, okay, girl, well, be careful. So now everybody, oh, Rose, why you got to be like that? Why you saying? And Rose is just like, no, I'm going to tell you the reason I tell you that. Because Cam has been shown to not really be honest, not be forthcoming, the way he talking about, the way he trying to act like he has been, right? So the first thing Rose brings up is that they were dating at some point. I guess this must have been after the show, and which would explain why he wasn't really talking fast with Sahara, right? But as they were having conversations, he did admit that he was into the polygamous lifestyle. And Cam said, hold on. Now, what she's saying is this. I admitted to her that I did have a problem with cheating. I had cheating in my relationships, which she also brought up. And because I had cheating in those relationships, I would not cheat again. That's not something I would do. But if you was cool with it and you was cool with me bringing somebody into the situation, then I would do that. Because if I felt the urge to do so, I'm not going to hide it from you. I'm going to bring it to you and either you with it or you not. I mean, it ain't quite polygamy, but it is, it's very harsh. It's giving a little bit of, because at least I got a little bit more respect for polygamy because it's two people coming into a decision together. But this just sound more like an open relationship and more so open on your end. I hope I can find a freak that's with it. Then after that, Rose tells us, and Shawnee was like, oh my gosh, there's more. Yes. Oh, baby, there's more. I was at Cam's house and Sahara is just falling out like, oh, you was at his house? Because I guess, Sahara, you ain't been over there yet, girl. And so Rose says, I was at Cam's house and I saw some empty condom wrappers. Baby, Cam is over there. That mouth just is crooked. I said, baby, you is not up on your game. And so she said she found some empty condom wrappers and she knew that they didn't belong to them, even though we do use condoms. I said, Rose, Cam, Rose, Cam. I'm just looking back and forth between the two of them on the screen. Angie looked like she wished she wasn't up there. If I was Angie, I would have walked off stage. I would have been like, you know what? This is between y'all. This ain't got nothing to do with me. Rose, out of all the people to give up that saved and sanctified coochie to, you gave it to Cam. And Cam, all that talking and posturing you was doing up there, you my number one, you this, you that, I knew it. I felt like Cam was talking to people behind closed doors after telling Sahara you was my number one and all of that. You was over there after you put Rose off the show, pulling out condoms, breaking in backs. You got up on the stage and that girl did not keep your secret like you thought she would. See, y'all thought Rose was one way, and she was. But I don't know if it was that little talk that Tay had in the back, or if I think she knew she was going to do this before she came. She had this already in mind. She said, oh, baby, I'm taking my pick-me clothes off, and I'm putting on the full armor of God, complete with the condoms that I used. Because you're not finna sit up here and play me. You sitting up here telling Sahara, take me off the block list so we can see what happened. No, we ain't finna take nobody off of nothing. What about them condoms we used a little while ago? Now what? Then she asked him, so are you expecting or not expecting? I was like, from who? Rose, is you pregnant? Was you saying they wasn't your condom wrappers because y'all don't use condoms? Who pregnant? Oh, baby, this is tea. And I hate that I'm so enthralled with it, too, because that make me a messy hoe as well. But tea. Very much tea. What did y'all think about this reunion? It was way better than the show, I'll tell you that. Do y'all think Cam got somebody pregnant? Do y'all think Rose is the pregnant one? How do we feel about this reunion? Damn. That's all I got to say. I ain't got nothing else to say, y'all. My mouth was agape. Are we liking what Rose is doing? I'm liking that. I don't necessarily like what she's doing, but I do like that Rose is off of that whole just trying to be what these men wanted her to be. But now she at the bitter stage. I did all the right things. I played it the right way, and I didn't get what I wanted. So now it's a little bit of the bitter stage. And I'm telling y'all I know it because I went through it. Now, I wasn't exposing people, but I was bitter that I had played my cards right and I didn't get what I wanted in the end. I thought I was being who, my ex wanted me to be, these men wanted me to be, and I didn't get what I wanted, and I was mad about it. Yeah. One day we're going to have to talk about how a lot of women go to God and be ready to lay down their life just so they can have a man, and God will tell you no. You serve me because you serve me because I'm worthy to be praised. You serve me because you want to be here. You serve me because it's the best thing for your life. And whether you get the man or not, that's why you need to be over here. And so many of us don't get that, baby. We be in church praying for that man. Not even our well-being, not even our life, not even our health and strength, but be somewhere laid down, tarrying on the altar to get a man. It needs to be studied. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see y'all for the next one. Bye.